stories this evening, sponsored by Coors, bringing value home. Another questionable land sale to convicted Guyanese fraudster Ed Ahmad. AFC leader raises concern about price tag. Campbell to take government to court over alleged breach of Section 16 of the NRF Act. AFC not interested in leadership tussle, but committed to putting the country first. And Minister Prasad demands police accountability in cases of gender-based violence. HGP Nightly News begins now. Good evening to our viewers here in Guyana and online. I'm Travis Chase with the Monday, February 3, 2025 edition of the HGP Nightly News. We have what you need to know this evening. More concerns have been raised about the price tag for prime lands that was sold to a convicted United States fraudster, Ed Ahmad's company, for upscale housing at Ogle on the east coast of Demerara. More details in this report. Leader of the Alliance for Change, Nigel Hughes, is calling on government to come clean over the sale of lands at Ogle on the east coast of Demerara to United States-based Guyanese Ed Ahmad, who was previously convicted in New York for mortgage fraud. Ahmad has inked an agreement for the purchase of land near ExxonMobil's new headquarters at Ogle to build an upscale residential complex. While the Ministry of Housing has defended the sale, Hughes believes that there is more in the mortar than the pestle.
And we asked them to release the list of persons who have been the beneficiary of those contracts.
Mr. Ahmad signed the agreement in his capacity of Director and Secretary of the new Global Investment Corporation. The lingering question for the AFC is how could such prime land be sold at $30 million per acre?
This company gets a whole acre for $30 million. And we have to see, they say it's standard. I've seen their statement. But we have to see what the procedure is, who were the special invitees.
The Central Housing and Planning Authority and the new Global Investment Corporation agreed that Ahmad's company would substantially complete 70% of the residential constructions within 3 years of July 17, 2024. The agreement also provides for the land to be used to construct upscale residential developments within the residential zone only, consisting of residential dwellings, townhouses, and apartments in accordance with the project proposal.
You've applied for a house lot. How much should be paid for it? Somewhere around $8 million, right? That's about 1/8 of an acre. So if an acre is the size of 8 house lots, that's 64 million, isn't it? Per acre, on average.
Ahmad was convicted and jailed in the U.S. in 2017 for mortgage fraud. He had also been ordered to pay U.S. $2.6 million to victims. It has now become clearer that Ed Ahmad is back into the business of real estate in clear violation of a United States court order. A United States judge had ordered that Ed Ahmad shall comply with the restitution order, that he shall provide full financial disclosure and shall not work in the mortgage industry. Travis Chase, HGP Nightly News. The Guyana Elections Commission GECOM intends to train close to 20,000 polling day staff. The elections body also plans to spend $427.5 million on civic and voter education. Find out more from Tiana Cole.
On day 2 of the consideration of estimates for the national budget, the Committee of Supply on Monday heard that the Guyana Elections Commission GECOM intends to train thousands of polling day staff and will spend in excess of $427.5 million on civic and voter education, including the printing of manuals.
This is involving 19,000 people being trained for election day staff.
Opposition parliamentarian Annette Ferguson also questioned MP Teixeira about the Commission's request for $122 million for the rental and maintenance of buildings.
Rental of buildings for polling stations, $122,700,000. And this is under two programs. Program 1, $94,744,000, and Program 2, $132,561,000. So this is all, the increase obviously is because of elections and that we have to have polling stations. Some may be free public buildings, others may have to be rented.
Another opposition parliamentarian, Ganesh Mahipal, also questioned the budgetary allocation for wages and salaries. He noted that in 2024, $1.8 billion was expended in comparison to $1.7 billion budgeted for 2025, a decrease despite a 10% salary increase last year and an additional 8% this year. In response, Teixeira stated that $1.6 billion has been set aside for salaries, including $320.1 million for assistant returning officers, $320.1 million for civic and voter education assistance, $423.9 million for returning officers, and $430.5 million for security officers. Mahipal clearly not satisfied with the answer for the question the decrease in employment cost.
Reflected in the numbers before me in Appendix T is a decrease from that sum. If salaries are being increased, why is this number reflected here as a decrease from 2024?
Teixeira explained that the decrease in overhead expenditure was due to reduced overtime payments in 2024, as it was not an election year. Mahipal then inquired about the salaries and benefits of the chief election officer at GECOM, to which Teixeira responded.
The monthly total is $3,331,252. And the total grand total for 12 months is $44,724,632.
The Deputy Chief Election Officer's total annual payment is $20.4 million, while the chairperson of the Guyana Elections Commission receives a basic salary of $2.7 million, with an annual total of $33.4 million. Tiana Ko reporting for the HGP Nightly News.
Yet another political heavyweight has entered the political race independently with the launch of the Assembly for Liberty and Prosperity Party. Here's more. Poverty, injustices, and inequality will be tackled head-on with the launch of a political party, Assembly for Liberty and Prosperity, ALP. The party, which has already amassed more than 1,000 members, is headed by former Minister under the Partnership for National Unity, Simona Brooms.
I'm doing my social work. I'm in the communities. A lot of persons have been calling on me. A lot of people and young people have been calling on me and said, listen, at this time, Guyana, we find ourselves where a lot of people feel hopeless. And some people say, you know, Ms. Brooms, we want you back in the ring. And I'm here because of the young people. I'm here because of the cries of the women. I've not opted out of anything, really. I've opted into committing myself more.
The ALP was launched on Saturday afternoon, and its leader firmly believes her party will attract the undecided voters.
There's a lot of people out there who've been saying they wouldn't vote. There's a lot of young people that is not encouraged to go into the poll. Now, if they don't go to the poll, where does that lead us? When the numbers are out, we have a young population, a young voting population. And when that young voting population stays home, what happens to Guyana? We are more vulnerable. So I think it is a blessing in disguise, really, for me to come in and want to focus. And young people want somebody they can trust.
The former People's National Congress Reform member was asked her reason for stepping away from the People's National Congress Reform.
Yes, I have officially resigned. And my reason for stepping away is just because this is the time I want to really give back and focus and zero in on serious issues of poverty and the social ills out there. And I believe that doing it through a movement and doing it independent I'll be able to accomplish exactly what is it we want to do.
Ms. Brooms was appointed Junior Minister of Social Services under the David Granger government. She was eventually removed from that ministry and appointed Junior Natural Resources Minister.
We're looking to pull out the numbers to ensure that we have more persons coming out to vote to add to the election at this 2025.
Brooms, also the founder and the former president of the Guyana Women Miners Organization, said the ALP would also be advocating for free and quality education, technical vocational skills, and recreational opportunities. Travis Chase, HGP Nightly News. Stay with us. You're watching the HGP Nightly News.
Welcome to SNL Electrical Inc., where lighting and electrical needs are met with expertise and style. From the latest in electrical lamps to durable cables, circuit breakers, panels, we have it all. Illuminate your space with our elegant chandeliers, stunning crystal lights, and versatile pole lights. Looking to upgrade your comfort? Explore top-of-the-line AC units and our diverse selections of stylish styles. Visit us at 170-180 Thomas Street, Kitty, Georgetown. Discover a solution that not only lights up your world but transforms it. Call us on telephone number 226-3018 or 223-1634. SNL Electrical Inc. powering your life with elegance, quality, and care.
With 70% ethyl alcohol, Mighty Foam Hand Sanitizer eliminates 99.99% of all germs and even moisturizes in the process, leaving your skin clean and hydrated. Mighty Foam Hand Sanitizer. How do you stay clean?
It's Digicell's 18th anniversary and we're going big with our blowout sale. Get up to 40% off Samsung smartphones. Yes, you heard that right. 40% off Samsung smartphones. Grab the Samsung A05 for just $17,000. The A15 for only $27,000. And the A25 at a jaw-dropping $35,000. But wait, there's more. With every purchase, enjoy a 30-day free data plan to stay connected. Hurry to a Digicel store near you. Offer good while stocks last. Digicel, the network for everyone, everywhere.
Krishna Roth Establishment. No job is too small or too large. We specialize in all types of fabricating, machinery, excavator repairs, rice field pumps, and hydraulic hoses. Visit us at Lot 113, Block CC Monrepo, East Coast, Demerara, or call 220-9624, 616-9416, or 619-7880. At Krishna Roth Establishment, no job is too small or too large.
Thanks for staying with us here in the HGP Nightly News. Leader of the Alliance for Change, Nigel Hughes, is putting his country first and has publicly stated his position on the leader for such an outfit ahead of the 2025 general and regional elections. More details from Daisy Richards.
At the launch of the Assembly for Liberty and Prosperity Party, headed by previous Minister under a Partnership for National Unity APNU, Simona Brooms, Nigel Hughes, leader of the Alliance for Change AFC, has maintained his position as it relates to forming a possible coalition party ahead of the 2025 polls.
We are willing to collaborate with anybody in the interest of the country once the principles are there.
The AFC leader and attorney at law also pointed out that a presidential candidate for any coalition must be selected on his or her ability to put the country's best interest first.
He's not advancing their candidate. We're saying that there should be a process, and the process should be in the best interest of the candidate. So it doesn't have to be Nigel Hughes. It doesn't have to be anybody.
He also added that talks with the People's National Congress reform is now off life support after talks broke down between the two parties after its first engagement.
We are well out of the conditions we were in about 10 days ago.
The PNCR and the AFC are already in talks as they chart a new course for United Guyana, but remained tight-lipped on discussions so far with the parties stressing the importance of trust and confidentiality. On January 23, hours after inking a deal following discussions, Hughes called a late-night news conference and indicated to the media that earlier discussions were placed on life support. For HGP Nightly News, I am Daisy Richards.
The government is under pressure to release the names of the 4 companies earmarked to sign new production sharing agreements for offshore oil operations. Antonio Day tells us that the government is tight-lipped on the names of the companies.
Can the Honorable Minister say where and who are these 4 that you preempted you will be issuing this year?
That was APNU ARC Member of Parliament David Patterson during Friday's consideration of estimates on the national budget. Rather than answering Patterson's request, Natural Resources Minister Vikram Bharat told the Parliamentary Committee of Supply deliberately sidestepped the question and immediately went on to be defensive.
We have nothing to hide about the management of the petroleum sector.
Still sidestepping the topic, Minister Bharat claimed that the new agreements for the deep water and shallow water blocks would benefit the people of Guyana more than the Scarborough Block 2016 PSA.
One of the fiscal terms that has already been changed in new PSA that the Honourable Member asks of is instead of 0% tax in the Scarborough PSA, any future PSA moving forward will have 10% tax.
The subject minister, however, reiterated that it will now benefit from 10% royalty in future PSAs as opposed to the 2% royalty in the Scarborough PSA. Instead of 75% cost recovery in the Scarborough block, there will be a 65% cost recovery, he convinced.
And what does that mean, Mr. Speaker? It simply means more money up front for Guyana while we are still paying off the cost bank or the capital investment by the companies investing.
The Natural Resources Ministry had previously stated that the new production sharing agreement had been approved by Total Energies Consortium, International Group Investment Inc., Sibley Energy Limited, and Delcor Inc., and signing those agreements would be forthcoming. After intense pressure from the former Minister of Public Infrastructure, Bharat eventually provided a response.
The 4 PSAs that the Honourable Member is inquiring of, it is to deal with the bid run that we had. It just means 4 PSAs for 4 blocks.
Antonio Day reporting for the HGP Nightly News.
Antonio Day will join us again. He will tell us this time that one Guyanese businessman is preparing to take the state to court amid allegations of breaching Section 16 of the Natural Resources Fund Act of 2021.
Section 16, Paragraph 2 of the Natural Resources Fund Act of 2021 clearly states that withdrawals can only be used for national development priorities and essential projects related to the effect of major natural disaster. However, opposition's representative on the Natural Resource Fund's Investment Committee, Terence Campbell, alleges that the state continues to violate that component of the law.
This week, we should be taking the matter of Section 16 of the NRF Act. It's time for the back and forth between myself and the Vice President.
Campbell, also a prominent businessman, told reporters on Saturday, while on the sidelines of an event, that this legal challenge has long been looming.
The president came out at 5 or 5:30 one morning talking about the same issues, the back and forth with Ashley Singh. I'm done with the back and forth.
Mr. Campbell recently called out the government for its lack of transparency for money spent from the Sovereign Wealth Fund. He contended that this trend by the state does not satisfy the provisions of the Natural Resource Fund Act, and that Vice President Barjagdio continues to sugarcoat the reality. He told reporters that only the court can provide a definitive judgment on whether the state indeed flouted Section 16.2 of the NRF Act of 2021.
We have advanced plans to take the matter to court and have the court make a decisive ruling on whether the government is or is not honoring Section 16 of the NRF Act.
Antonio Day reporting for the HGP Nightly News.
Thank you, Antonio, for your reporting. Stay with us. There is more news ahead.
Planning a cleanup? We can help. Sevon's Waste Management skip bins can be provided for home renovation projects, yard cleanup, or construction project. It's simple. Step 1, give us a call. Step 2, we put down the bin. Step 3, load it up with all of your junk. Step 4, we take it away. That's simple. Bins are also available in various sizes, so there is no job that is too big or too small. Call Sevon's Waste Management today at 218-1455.
Ready to up your game? Ready to up your game? Win big with over 60 epic prizes. A brand new PS5, Nintendo Switch, iPhone 16 Pro Max, Apple smartwatch, and the hottest earbuds from Apple and Samsung. Plus, we are giving away thousands in phone credit and a whole year supply of Buster or Turbo Energy drink. Here's how. Buy any Buster or Turbo Energy drink. Find the code starting with BB and enter online or on WhatsApp. Visit us on Facebook or Instagram at Turbo_Caribbean or Buster Guyana for all the details. Don't just play. Up your game with Buster and Turbo Energy.
It's a new day with Shilling Oil. A unique blend of natural oils to help ease and soothe the day-to-day discomforts of life. Get relief from muscle and joint pain, headaches, and congestion. Shilling Oil lets you get back to the things you love doing most. Water relief with Shilling Oil. Distributed by Massey Distribution.
Welcome back to the HGP Nightly News. We tell you now that with the Ministry of Housing and Water planning to construct more homes, Shadow Minister of Housing Annette Ferguson sought answers in the face of numerous complaints from new home owners as it relates to substandard work. Daisy Richards is on this story.
CHNPA and the contractor promised the house would turn over, and almost 28 months since cash payment, Kroll and Rodriguez sitting on their hands.
That was Annette Ferguson on Friday during the consideration of estimates and expenditure. Ferguson claimed that complaints surround substandard work done to the structures. She further questioned Minister of Housing and Water Colin Kroll on the procedures of redress.
Why is it that when the contractors are building these houses to substandard work, Mr. Speaker, and the beneficiaries lodge their complaints to the ministry, why is it that the ministry is not addressing the people's concern?
The ministry has a project department. They have a team of staff that are assigned responsibility for the houses, and they all have defect liability period.
Minister Kroll also acknowledged challenges faced with some contractors.
We have had issues with some contractors. That's factual. And I won't sit here to say that we have not had challenges.
Minister Kroll also assured that his ministry will be building out more homes in 2025. This year, some $112.6 billion is earmarked for this undertaking. The Competition and Consumer Affairs Commission, CCAC, had raised growing concerns over an increase in consumer complaints as it relates to substandard work. The CCAC said an alarming number was directed to the construction industry. Payment in advance for works to be completed. For HGP Nightly News, I am Daisy Richards.
With the nation reeling from 3 murders in a short period of time due to gender-based violence, there is growing demand for police officers to be held accountable for failure to take reports from victims. This story from Tiana Cole.
Minister of Human Services and Social Security Dr. Vindhya Prasad addressed the recent murders of 3 women, including a 16-year-old girl. In a video released on Monday, she stated that these incidents highlight a grim reality that violence against women remains a serious issue in the country. Prasad noted that over the past few years, her ministry has developed support systems in cases of gender-based violence, including the implementation of a 24-hour toll-free hotline 914, where such incidents can be reported.
This hotline is there for everyone in every region, in every community. This hotline is to be utilized in such a way that even if it is an active case of violence happening, you can call for us to have the police intervene. We offer shelter for victims of violence, or survivors as we call them. We offer a survivor advocate to assist the person who's experiencing violence. We also pay 3 months' rent to someone who is experiencing violence so that they can get out.
The minister added that discussions on the issue were held with Minister of Home Affairs Robson Ben, where it was emphasized that officers of the Guyana Police Force received training to adequately address cases of gender-based violence and ensure reports are taken seriously.
And it is extremely disturbing to read that these reports are not being taken. I sat in discussion with my colleague and I have asked him in no uncertain terms that these officers be held accountable when the reports are not taken.
She further stated that while gender-based violence is not a new issue, continuous efforts must be made to ensure perpetrators understand that the law will hold them accountable. She stressed that the 2024 passage of the Family Violence Act introduced several provisions that hold both the police and perpetrators accountable. Additionally, the Act now includes criminal measures to ensure that perpetrators of violence can be arrested, charged, and brought before the courts. 3 women, including a teenager, lost their lives this year due to gender-based violence. Bibi Ali was brutally murdered by her former partner, Bidraj Ganesh, on January 29, despite previously reporting him to the police. After the attack, Ganesh ingested a poisonous substance and succumbed a day later. On January 24, 64-year-old Parbudai Budram was killed during a robbery at her home in Belwest, West Bank, Demerara. 3 men were arrested and charged with her murder. The most recent case involved 16-year-old Janelle David, who was fatally beaten by her 40-year-old fiancé Ian Moore at Barometer Northwest District. Tiana reporting for the HGP Nightly News.
Thank you, Tiana, for your reporting. Stay tuned for your regional news.
Digicel is celebrating 18 amazing years, and we're giving you the ultimate shopping spree. That's right, top up with $1,000 or more, and you could be one of 4 lucky winners, each walking away with up to $1 million in groceries. Imagine filling your cards with everything you need and more, absolutely free. Top up now and get ready to dash for cards full of groceries. Digicel, the network for everyone, everywhere.
Get your tickets now for the One Guyana, One Love tribute to Bob Marley showcase at the Pegasus Poolside on Friday, February the 7th at 7 p.m. Featuring Brandon Harding, Mark Batson, Prince Ali, Empress Jalove, King Mandela, Beanick, Wi-Fi, DJ China, Carry and Correction Band, Lavanai, and Ras Sebi, aka Bling Ras. MCs Melody Thomas and Ras Punchy. Music by Redemption Sound and Murphy One-Man Band. Admission $3,000 in advance. Get your tickets at the Pegasus Hotel Front Desk and White Castle Fish Shop at Hatfield and John Streets. For more information, call 661-2976. It's the One Guyana, One Love tribute to Bob Marley showcase.
Don't give up the fight. In today's fast-paced world of modern finance, with its many options and opportunities, you will need good advice and help getting value for your money. Hand-in-hand trust is the way to go. From owning your own home or business with our residential and commercial mortgages to drive a new car with a vehicle loan, we'll help you realize your dreams. You can also access investment deposit accounts, share brokerage services, personal trust, thrift and pension plan trusteeship, property management, investment portfolio management, safe deposit boxes, the convenience of our Cambio, Western Union, and Bill Express services. Hand-in-hand trust for financial services and more. Helping you get the most out of your financial resources and your life.
Good evening, I'm Daisy Richards with Monday's edition of the Regional News. We begin with news from Antigua and Barbuda. Prime Minister Gaston Brown has pointed to what he says are uneven benefits of integration within the regional body, the Caribbean Community CARICOM, saying that some nations prioritize their own economic advantages while neglecting the needs of smaller member states like Antigua and Barbuda. Speaking recently on local radio, Brown highlighted the disparity in trade benefits among CARICOM nations, emphasizing that while some countries such as Trinidad and Tobago have reaped substantial economic rewards from regional trade agreements, smaller nations have largely become consumer markets with limited production capacity. He argued that this imbalance undermines the intended spirit of CARICOM's economic cooperation. The Prime Minister also said there is the reluctance of certain CARICOM nations to contribute to the Caribbean Development Fund, CDF, which was established to support disadvantaged member states by providing financial assistance to build economic capacity and mitigate trade imbalances. The Prime Minister also warned that if these disparities persist, it could weaken the foundation of regional cooperation. He called for a more collaborative approach where all CARICOM nations actively support economic balancing measures to ensure that smaller economies are not marginalized. Prime Minister Dr. Ralph Gonsalves says he believes the deportation of Caribbean Community CARICOM nationals from the United States will be discussed at the upcoming summit of regional leaders in Barbados. CARICOM leaders are due to meet in Barbados from February 19 to 21, and it will be attended also by United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres. He said his administration has not received any information from the United States regarding plans to deport Vincentian nationals as part of President Donald Trump's clampdown on illegal immigrants. Prime Minister Gonsalves, however, said his government is concerned that Washington does not supply the country to which it deports people with information about deportees, criminal and other history. A document circulating on the internet purportedly from U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement ICE states that as of November 24, 2024, there were 1,445,549 non-citizens on ICE's non-detained docket with final orders of removal. The list includes 127 Vincentians. He said that any country within the framework of its domestic law and in accord with international law and best practices can refuse entry or deport people the country considers undesirable. Gonsalves, however, said the country that is doing the deportation will have to pay attention to international law and best practices. He said the difficulty that St. Vincent and the Grenadines and other CARICOM member states have had and have represented to various administrations in Washington is that the U.S. does not tell the receiving country about their citizens' antecedents. Gonsalves, who is also Minister of National Security and Legal Affairs, however, noted that the person is not obliged to answer any questions. He further said that since a person is not charged locally with any criminal offense, the police can detain them only for a limited period. Finally, the 32-year-old suspect in the arson attack that killed 3-year-old Jareem George has died by suicide. According to reports, around 5:15 p.m. Sunday, Anderson Gittins was found hanging inside a cell at the Malabar police station. Officers performed the CPR on Gittins in an attempt to resuscitate him. When EHS personnel arrived at the station, they continued medical treatment on Gittins, who was still alive at the time. He was then taken to the Arima Hospital, where he was attended to by hospital staff, later pronounced dead by Dr. Williams. A request has been made for CCTV footage from the police station as part of the investigation into Gittins' death. Gittins was described as a monster by Jareem's mother, with whom he had previously been in a relationship. Jareem was killed in a fire at his family's Windy Hill Aruco home on January 23. The fire was deliberately set by Gittins, police were told. Police reports said that about 11:45 p.m., George was at her home when she heard a commotion outside. Upon checking, she observed her boyfriend attempting to break open the window on the eastern side of the house. He was carrying a container of gasoline. Police were told George told investigators she yelled at the man and attempted to prevent him from entering. However, the suspect overpowered her and forced his way into the home. She said she left her 4 children in the house as she sought to get help. She said it then took 10 seconds to run to the home and alert her relative. But by the time she turned around and ran back to her own home, it was on fire. George said she tried to run into the burning structure to save her children. She saw her eldest child, a 14-year-old boy, pulling his 2 sisters aged 11 and 9 out of the fire. But she did not see Jareen. As the flames grew higher around her, she stood at the entrance of the house, hoping to see and save Jareen. But her eldest son, realizing the danger, stopped her. The teenager held on to his mother to ensure she did not enter. Within moments, the building was consumed by fire. Relatives notified the police, paramedics, and the fire service. Officers from the Tunapuna Fire Station, the Arima Fire Station, and the Wrightstone Road headquarters responded. While they were able to contain the blaze and prevent it from spreading to nearby homes, the fire destroyed George's home. Young Dream's burnt body was found inside. Thank you for watching. Do have a great week. Until next time.
Another questionable land sale to Edamad. AFC leader raises concerns about price tag. Campbell to take government to court over alleged breach of Section 16 of the NRF Act. AFC not interested in leadership tussle, but committed to putting the country first. And Minister Prasad demands police accountability in cases of gender-based violence. Those are our major headlines. For these stories and more, please go to our website. It's www.hgptv.com. I'm Travis Chase. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.